I mean, really the simple message is just seek higher ground. Do not go back to your home and stay there until we assess the damage and assess everyone's safety.
And one more question, too. Some of the most incredible footage that we're seeing is coming in from what looks to be the Miyagi province. That's where this rolling tide of water is just really leveling everything in its path. What information do you have about that particular area of Japan?
Well, it's more of a rural area. It's a few hours north of here, northern coast. We're following images as you are, so I apologize. We don't have a whole lot of information to offer you here, but
Sure. No, understandable. Yeah, we're all, as you said, we're all getting the information at the exact same time. It's amazing to see some of the fires that are really breaking out in the wake of this tide of water. And we hear that there's a lot of fires, one happening at a natural gas refinery, also perhaps some damage there to a nuclear power plant.
Yeah, we have seen those images as well. And the fire that I believe you're referring to is one in Chiba City, which is just outside of Tokyo, not necessarily near the epicenter. But again, we're seeing smoke coming out of buildings in Tokyo as well. So the damage not limited to the epicenter, and we're trying to just gather information and see just how widespread all of this is.
And we are awaiting word now from Japan's Prime Minister. Before I let you go, though, you did make an interesting point that the folks in Japan are used to earthquakes, but this obviously is something different and far more severe than what you've become accustomed to in that neck of the world.
That's correct. We get so used to earthquakes out here, we tend to just ignore them. We feel a little shaking, and then we just move on with our lives. But this is definitely one that made everybody just kind of stop and look around, and then just either get out of the building or duck under the table.
Sure.
Unlike anything we have felt in a long time.
And you're so brave to be sitting there giving us this information, which we certainly appreciate. From what we understand about Tokyo, mass amounts of people really just fled the buildings there to get out of the buildings. Did you see that?
We did it from our
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. I got to stop you there for a second. The Prime Minister is addressing the situation now. Let's take him live.
It all help each other to minimize the damage. We ask you to act in such a way that it will be possible to minimize the damage. This will be my greetings as the head of the Disaster Relief Headquarters.
Prime Minister Nato Kan there saying that he will do everything possible to aid of what happened at the situation, speaking there live. And right now, our helicopters in.
The Prime Minister of Japan addressing the unfolding tragedy there. Again, folks who are just joining us, as this is going to be the story that certainly we cover all day for the next several weeks and months here. Just an 8.8 or 8.9 possibly earthquake striking Japan, 2:46 local time, shortly after 1 a.m. Eastern time here in New York. The images that we're seeing are just beyond description at this point. That triggered a massive 13-foot tsunami that literally you see there swallowing towns in the northeastern part of that country, a rural area, as Akiko, our correspondent in Tokyo, told us. But literally buildings and homes being swallowed up. We understand that 4 million buildings have lost power. People are being evacuated. People are being told to leave the coast. This is not an incident isolated to just Japan. As we've been saying all morning, Russia, the Philippines, Indonesia, Taiwan, Guam, even the state of Hawaii, all being told to watch out for possible tsunamis. Just the extent and strength of this thing could have just a huge impact far beyond Japan in that corner of the world.
And the pictures really speak for themselves. Taking a look here at the airport, as you see the debris floating around the airport, completely consumed in water. People evacuated to the roof there in order to get out of the way. All people in that area have been told to get to higher ground due to the tsunami. Now, the quake struck at a depth of about 6 miles, about 80 miles off the eastern coast. It's about 240 miles northeast of Tokyo. So we're getting all different pictures there from all up and down along the coast. We'll continue to bring you the very latest here on World News Now. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after this.